morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of the Speak the Truth podcast. Mainstream media is losing their freaking mind because of Nick Shirley. CNN in particular appears to be targeting him. At least in my opinion, that's exactly what they're doing. They're trying to defame this young man for everything that he was doing. And people have been trying to disprove everything that he's done. As if for some reason we didn't know that $9 billion in fraud would equate to, I don't know, knocking on daycare centers' doors and they magically wouldn't be there. So first thing that we're going to end up doing this morning is we're going to go over and we're going to take a look at the little CNN clip of what they put out. Anderson Cooper actually took this and put it out on X because, you know, he's super proud of it.
We're from CNN. Can we talk to you?
This is MAGA YouTuber Nick Shirley. Back at a daycare in Minnesota, he alleged was a fraudulent facility in a now viral video.
People are going to say this is a left or right issue, but no, fraud is fraud. And so I'm not out here trying to put a twist on things.
Shirley's viral video, released over the weekend, in which he says he's uncovering tens of millions of dollars in fraud at Minneapolis daycares run by the Somali community, was retweeted by Elon Musk and Vice President J.D. Vance. In the video, Shirley tries to open locked doors and talk to people at various daycares he claims are frauds.
Did you come during their normal operating hours when you came to visit?
I came at 11 a.m., I believe, and I also came the following day later in the day. The point of it is not whether or not I came at the right time of their operation hours. The point is that blacked out doors, they can't give you any information. You call that number, no one answers. I wasn't trying to go inside, and there should be a way for somebody to actually be able to call that number and somebody to be able to answer. These aren't real businesses.
But surely you don't think a daycare should just be unlocked. You shouldn't be able to just walk into a
There
daycare.
should be a reception.
No, every daycare is locked.
Their doors are locked.
And so, okay, you bring up a fair point. Then why can't they actually give me information how to enroll a child?
Federal law enforcement
But the daycare centers are locked. Come on, lady, for the love of God.
has been investigating fraud in Minnesota for several years. Both Attorney General Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel said on social media they've indicted dozens of defendants. DHS has posted multiple videos of agents they say are conducting a massive fraud investigation.
Do you think that federal law enforcement hasn't done enough? I mean, they would say, look, these fraud cases have been going on, but they've already done like 80 indictments. The cases have been going on, for years.
And why did I show up one day in Minnesota and go to all these daycares, no children? They're receiving millions of dollars. We uncovered nearly $110 million in fraud in one day.
How do you know that all the allegations that you're making are true?
How do I know that they're true? Well, we showed you guys what was happening, and then you guys can go ahead and make your own analysis.
We're coming so we can make our own analysis. Are you 100% sure you're true?
Yeah, I am 100% sure I'm true.
CNN is looking into Shirley's claims.
This is the best part.
My name's Whitney Wild. I'm a correspondent for CNN.
We reached out to several of the daycares featured in the now viral video. Only one daycare facility answered and said they are a legitimate business.
They went through all of that trouble to go off on Nick for them to launch their own investigation. And what was their own investigation? Because they could have done a lot. Remember, they're on the ground harassing him and whatnot. And so what did they decide to do? They called the daycare centers. Oh, God forbid. They called them and they only got one to answer. And of course, that daycare center said it's a legitimate business. Good job, CNN. Nicely done.
Have you seen the videos, purporting that some of these daycares don't have kids inside?
Minnesota Republicans say despite the new focus from the Trump administration, they have been sounding the alarm on fraud for years.
We have talked about fraud. We have gotten stories. We've tried to push this forward every way that we can.
At the daycare where Shirley showed back up, a stream of children walk inside.
You're saying that this is a fraudulent daycare. There's kids being dropped off right now.
Yes, the Commissioner of Children literally said a week ago this place was closed.
Did you know
They're
that?
showing face right now.
A viral video, disputed claims, and their full fallout remains to be seen.
Yeah, maybe because you guys don't do your job. Maybe because all you did was show up to a business and harass Nick and say, like, they could have simply walked in the business. Dude, they were right there. They could have pulled interviews. They could have talked to the people there. They could have been like, hey, the Minnesota government says that you guys were closed down weeks ago. And so that explained why your doors are locked. Why are your doors now back open? Actual investigative journalism. No. They sat down. They made a phone call. Way to go, CNN. You guys are absolutely crushing it. Ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be a good show. I hope you guys are ready to go for it. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Nice to see everybody in the chat. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right. So Nick's got some brand new information for us. They're back outside the Quality Leering Center. And we're just gonna, let's give it a listen.
Today we're outside of Quality Learning Center. They spelled the name wrong, so they actually came and corrected it. The interesting about this daycare here in Minnesota is it received $1.9 million in the fiscal year of 2025, and it has a capacity for upwards of 90 children. And what makes this daycare even more interesting is that while the Commissioner of Children of Minnesota was saying that the daycare was closed on a live stream,
Quality Learning Center closed just over a week ago.
a Somalian man was outside talking about how they are open, letting children in, and right now they are funneling children into the daycare as well. And right now, they're not really leering much because...
You guys hear what he said? $1.9 million in 2025 alone. So ask yourself this question. Like, number one, how does this crap business need 1.9 mil for what they're doing? They're a daycare center, but why 1.9 million for the entire year? I'm very curious, like, daycare centers that aren't funded by the government, what their actual annual revenue is that ends up coming in. But at the end of the day, fraud or no fraud, 1.9 mil for this tiny little daycare center in Minnesota coming from your taxpayer dollars, that within itself says that they should be cut off. It's not a business at that point. Now we're just subsidizing childcare and nobody's really paying their own dang bills. That's freaking nuts to me. But at the same time, if you are getting that money, you absolutely should be open. That's what absolutely pisses me off about this whole thing. Lord Boosted J coming in says, hey, Matt, I'm in Eagman, Montana with my popcorn just watching. Well, the daycare fraud has actually expanded beyond daycare. People are now investigating all sorts of different things. And you know what else is on the chopping block? Assisted living. Can't make that freaking crap up. Wait till you guys see all that crap. Now, as I said, CNN's going after Nick. That's not a lie, man. Here they are having a freaking meltdown on the panel over what Nick actually did.
True.
So he goes to the facilities. Some of them had already been closed for some time. Minnesota officials say that each of the facilities that he visited had been visited at least once in the last 6 months. And so far, they found no evidence of fraud. So shouldn't he have to provide actual evidence of fraud before just walking up to a building and saying, fraud is happening here?
Who is he? Like, who gave this guy license to go around and say, I couldn't get in the daycare centers, the doors were locked? Like, nobody should be able to walk into a daycare center because the doors are locked. These random vigilante justice, something that people in this country know a lot about, these random vigilante justice seekers who ordain themselves like some sort of law enforcement expert, like he's a random YouTuber. And I just find it laughable that the party of the self-proclaimed pro-life people are celebrating cutting off funding to children. The white evangelical crowd who purports to uphold these Christian values are celebrating targeting communities because of their ethnicity and cutting off care to children.
Nobody's targeting communities because of their ethnicity. Like, what freaking planet do these people live on? These places are being targeted for fraud investigations. Nobody's going out there. Nobody's a vigilante. Like, Nick's not throwing people in handcuffs, dressed up as Batman, beating the freaking crap out of them. And this is why I say mainstream media is going after him. Because now they're launching a counter campaign against him, sticking up for whatever the hell this is. Why wouldn't they be investigating this on their own? Why wouldn't they be like going, look, we can actually disprove everything that he's brought up. These are legitimate businesses because of X, Y, and Z. And you know they're in trouble when they actually can't provide facts. It's like when you're arguing with a narcissist and they just like go and freaking blame shift and throw everything else back in your freaking face. That's exactly what's happening here. CNN's losing it when they get into, like, absolutely losing it. M. Hennick coming in, gifting out 5 Speak the Truth memberships. Thank you very much, sir. And Fox McCloud says, we are so cooked when somebody does actual journalism, brings up actual concerns, but because it's coming from the other side, it immediately goes tribal. There is no side in this. This is all U.S. taxpayer money. That's the most disturbing part about it. Sky God in the house, blessing the chat with 20 Speak the Truth memberships. Hell yeah, brother. Let's go ahead and finish up their ridiculous argument and see what they have to say now.
Utterly ridiculous. And I have to say, only a deplorable human being cannot decisively say it is wrong to target this community. We all heard what Donald Trump said from the White House. To pretend that this is some sort of opinion versus this opinion. No, we hear this right now. And so we have to call these things out with outrage, with righteous indignation that this type of thing, one day it's the Somali community, the next day it's another community. What is hard about saying this is awful? What is hard about saying we should all care about children?
And it's not just race.
Because there's no kids there, lady. There's literally no kids inside of there. It's not caring about kids, it's caring about fraud. And here they go, taking it and turning it into something that it's not.
Racist and xenophobic. It's actually dangerous.
Oh, it's xenophobic.
What Donald Trump is doing and targeting this community, it's put.
Oh, now Donald Trump is targeting this community. The frickin' illegal alien community, the fraud community. I'm so confused.
American citizens in danger because it is putting a target on their back. But there's something else that I think is really disturbing. To your point about who this YouTuber is, and that all of a sudden, because he made this video that has gone viral, now DHS and FBI are putting resources into this community all of a sudden.
Well, they're not.
No. They've been putting resources into the community. The dang community is overrun with fraud, and there's not enough resources to go around. Unhinged Muppets coming in, gifting out 5 Speak the Truth memberships as well. The hell is wrong with these people?
I mean, because they actually had already. Well, that's the thing. I mean, those videos that we were showing, those are
but they're
performative.
pretending like
they're
they
walking
just
into
found this out.
They're walking into a deli and asking questions and then saying, "Have a nice day." That's not how you investigate fraud.
Correct.
Actually, to the credit of DOJ, they have been investigating fraud. They have been prosecuting people the way that you actually prosecute people, not sending people to delis.
Actually, they haven't been investigating fraud, and we know they haven't been investigating fraud because you now have insiders that have came out stating that they have been reporting these different types of fraud schemes over inside of Minnesota for years. And it's gone like just, I don't even know how to say it, just swept under the rug. And Tim Walz has been accused of, how do I want to say this? He's been accused of coming out and telling everybody that they're racist and that they're xenophobic, just for reporting this crap. And that's not a joke. And what's odd about all of this here, I finally found like a tiny little clip of him actually saying it. So even with all of the people coming out saying that he's racist and he's like accusing people of being racist and xenophobic, we now have Tim Walz on frickin' video accusing people of exactly that. This is what is so damn troubling, and that just pisses me off. Oh no, I lost the clip. Where did it go? Come on, Timmy. Where are you, bud? You can't hide forever. Oh Lord, please tell me I didn't do something stupid with it. Here we go. I believe this is it. Yep, here you go. So this is the amazing part to me. And again, this is people arguing with him over on CNN. And here is your clip of Tim Walz, which again, this isn't him telling the people that ended up reporting it that he is being racist and xenophobic. This is just him giving a speech about how this stuff targeting them is racist and xenophobic.
This is what happens when your own federal government wages war against you. This is what happens when they target communities for their own benefit. This is what happens when they scapegoat. And this is what happens when they no longer hide the idea of white supremacy. The idea of white supremacy.
Oh, I'm sorry. Not racist and xenophobic. White supremacy. White supremacy. So now Tim's claiming that all of these crackdowns are based on white supremacy. So yeah, I kind of, when, people are saying behind the scenes that the people that reported it, that Tim's being racist and xenophobic. Yeah, kind of got a little thing. Now, this is one that just kind of blew my mind that I ended up coming across this morning. Somebody over on, I want to say it was Crime Watch, ended up reporting this daycare center over inside of Minnesota for fraud. And for those of you guys that don't know, the United States government actually launched a brand new website last night for you to go over. Well, it's not a brand new website. It's actually like childcare.gov, I believe. And then there's a button up top for you to click and report fraud. But somebody passed this business off, a Somali business over inside of Minnesota, childcare business over inside of Minnesota is being suspected of fraud. And guess what happened to them the day after that? They got broke into. They got broke into after it got reported. And after it was broke into, after they got reported, guess what they're now claiming ended up getting stolen out of there? Allegedly, they're claiming that all of their documentation that DHS is going to want to look into and the feds are going to want to look into, all of those documents disappeared overnight. Somebody broke into their office simply to steal their documents. Imagine that. Here you go. Here's another one. I don't even know what the hell they're showing a dang hole in the wall with a brick for. Maybe this is where they were keeping all of their documents inside of the business. No clue. But yeah, pretty freaking magical that ended up happening, right? I mean, I'm sure, you know, it's not like this was part of a wider fraud scheme. Absolutely not. That couldn't be the case whatsoever. Airborne Professor coming in, giving out 5 Speak the Truth memberships. Thank you very much as well, sir. Oh my Lord. You know, and it's not just, by the way, as I have sat here and brought all of this stuff up, it's not just mainstream media. You also have like social media influencers that are out there pushing this crap against freaking Nick as well. And probably one of my favorite trolls that Nick ended up doing, like you guys, some of you guys might know the Krastantine brothers. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But my favorite thing that Nick ended up doing is going into the chat section here against Brian Krastantine, who said the defamation case against Nick Shirley will be epic. He's selling $50 shirts to finance his grift using the logo of the company. He's likely defaming and changing their phone number to 1-800-FRAUD. And then Nick jumped in the comments section and said, here's the link to buy one. It might help you lear something. Dude made my day. Pete Bronson says, Minnesota daycare fraud, so easy a non-English speaking Somalia can do it. Yeah, no kidding. And believe it or not, I was looking into some of this stuff, and there's actually different websites that you can go to that charge you a small fee that actually help you apply for all of this stuff. So you don't even you can literally go to the website, you can enter in what grant or, you know, what business it is that you have and fill out some basic information. And then they start applying for grants and everything for you. God, like this thing is out of control, absolutely out of control. Now, not just, you know, we heard the other day that the Minnesota government had came out and said that, you know, the place was closed before Nick ended up going there. So that was the reason for nobody being there. And then we show up the next day and all of a sudden there's people there. Now they're actually trying to blame the spelling of the sign on something else. Fox McCloud says, never trust citizens, journalists, or whistleblowers because all they want to do, because after all, what do they know? They're not journalists. Yeah, you know, it's pretty simple. When you go out and you take stuff and you report on it, you are acting in a state of journalism, in my opinion, right? Whether or not you work for mainstream media outlet doesn't make you a journalist. It's literally what it is that you do. Snafer, thank you for all the prayers and support. My wife has finally come home after her coma. Dude, that's amazing. Praise God. That's awesome. Hell yeah. Yes. That's amazing news, man. Praise God. STRC says they broke in to get the cash they are hiding before the place got shut down. You know, before I play that next clip, maybe they were hiding all of a bunch of fraudulent cash within the wall and they busted through the freaking wall and recovered all the cash they were hiding. Could be. That's a valid point, man. Yeah. So let's hear what they're saying about the sign now.
Why was the word learning misspelled?
That was a printing error.
And how long was it that way?
I don't know, but the printer, now that you guys have put the printer at bay, now the printer is reprinting that up again. So sometimes.
It was a printing error. Okay. Let's call it a printing error. Unless they had a printing company design the logo and everything for them, which I doubt, that's not a printing error. That's not how that works. What actually happens, and I know this because I bought billboards before. I bought billboard space. You actually end up designing stuff and going over, and before they print stuff, like everything's within approval. And so now this lady's sitting here, call it a freaking printing error. You got to be kidding me.
It's just hard to get printers to come out in the wintertime as the weather changes to put up new signage and things of that nature. And because we had different types of weather elements going on, it was just delayed. But for the simple fact, just because it is a misprint, everyone is taking that out of content.
It looks like it's fixed now, though. Yeah. And
It's a misprint, ladies and gentlemen. It's a misprint. Pat Loudon says, I feel like this is the tip of the iceberg. No wonder why Musk was scared to speak up on stuff he was finding in Doge. You're probably not wrong. Probably not wrong at all. Honestly. And it is the tip of the iceberg. And I'm going to show you guys some more stuff here in just a minute, because it's not just the daycare centers, and it's not just in Minneapolis with the Somalis there. People have been going over to Washington. If you guys watch a stream from last night, you'll see that over inside Washington State, they ended up coming up with tons of fraud over there as well. And like I said, Columbus, Ohio, let's not forget about that one. And it looks like assisted living centers are the next big one that people are going to be pushing, that are going after. Thomas Billings he says, look at the utilities usage. 90 kids use a lot of water. Dude, that's not a joke either. And, I think like when they start looking into the fraud of these businesses, that's what they're going to start doing. They're going to start pulling all of that information. But until the feds actually get freed up, it's going to take a minute. This thing is like hundreds of businesses, right? Thousands across the country. Imagine how much federal resources have to actually be allocated to go over and solve that problem. It's not as easy as people are trying to make it think. It's not that easy. You guys start taking agents, assigning them cases, going and looking and they're likely going to bulk up 5 or 6 of these businesses all together. It's going to take freaking forever. It's going to take absolutely forever. And I think you're right. I think that's why Elon, in my opinion, likely wanted to, kind of back himself away, because the fraud is so damn deep in this country. And thank God that we're figuring this out right now. Thank God that they're actually over there looking into all this, because Lord only knows how freaking bankrupt this country would be if we allowed it to continue. Because the more we allow it to continue, the more it expands, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. This didn't just turn into a massive fraud scheme overnight. One person got away with it, and then it just started passing and passing and passing. That's the problem. And then they expanded it. They were like, oh, child cares are kind of tapped out, so let's move on into the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one, right? This is just scratching the surface of the things that are out there. Nick Solder's on the scene.
It's about 10:15 out here outside the Quality Luring Center on a Tuesday night. Got 10 Somalis out here trying to fix their misspelled street name. We'll see how much success they have there. Yeah, this guy back here is going to continue pacing around. He's already got several photos of my license plate. I don't know what he's going to do with that, but... Later. They didn't quite finish the job changing out the sign. Guess I interrupted there. Because I'm in a public parking lot here. I'm not on their property. Hey, man, do you want to have a chat? Nope. Okay, I was just saying you were taking pictures of me, so I was just... Yeah, you were taking pictures of me. Yeah, no, I think it's good. I'm glad you're finally changing the sign. You're going to change it to actually what it's spelled as. You want to say your name? I know. I'm on the sidewalk. You want me to pose for you? I guess you guys can do this just about all night. You don't open until, what, 2 o'clock tomorrow? Is that what it is? Is the daycare center 2 o'clock? Hey! Hey! Huh? What'd you say? Huh?
What's amazing about these videos as we watch them is the entire Somali community is rallying around these businesses to try to bully the reporters from leaving. Jerome says clearly CNN didn't see the guy bragging about his house, his free house in EBT, and thinking Ilhan. Dude, wait till you see this business I'm about to show you in a little bit. Looks like a damn mansion. You would think it's a house, but it's not. It's set up as a business, and obviously they're getting subsidized funding. Just wait.
Oh, you don't want to talk now? All right. No, I was just curious. How many people do you need to change the letter on the sign? What time is it now? 10:30? Almost 10:30 out here on this Tuesday night. You got me.
You got me.
Unlike you guys, I'm not wearing a mask. I don't have to hide my identity. You got plenty of pictures of my rental car license plate, though, so I'm happy for you on that one. I was just minding my own business. You guys came up to me. If you want to chat, I'll be over here. I got all night.
12 o'clock midnight.
It's now about midnight outside the Quality Learning Center, and as you can see, unfortunately, no luck getting that sign finished. Maybe tomorrow, but they have cool open flags now. Look at that, now open, because apparently they were closed just last week. Pretty wild, man.
So ridiculous. Maga says, Happy New Year from the Netherlands, Matt. How did the job interview go? What job interview are you talking about? Did I say that I had a job interview? I don't think I did at any point in time. This is my job and I love it. Mick Swayze says, go into Market World in Columbus. It's a mall, third world bazaar. I might find myself over there in the near future, believe it or not. So I'm going to have to remember that. And actually, before I move on, I'm going to screenshot that super chat so I don't forget it because, yep, I might find myself over there in the near future, which means you guys need to make dang sure that you are subscribed and following this channel. And every shop in it is a front. I went in years ago and these people harassed me. Oh, I look forward to that. Marcus, I got you, brother. I got you. You might have a special video coming out just from that one alone, just from that super chat. You might have a special video next week. Fox McCloud says, maybe I'm dumb, but are daycares open on New Year's Eve? Why are there kids there? Yeah, daycares would be open on New Year's Eve. I would think so. But I mean, they're calling them daycares, you know? So I mean, but I'm assuming that, dude, I don't know. I've hired babysitters because it's cheaper than going to daycares, but apparently I didn't realize that there was government subsidies that you could be sucking down going over that. Had absolutely no clue.
If I do know how to run a business, I do know that if you're going to make a business, you have to make a profit. So therefore, you should not.
So how do you run how do you operate a daycare? What are the steps for the state of Minnesota as to how do you open and operate a daycare? Can you tell me that? So then if you don't know those steps, if you
have to operate out of profit. This lady's mad at me because she's affiliated with this building because her restaurant right here. I can't do anything about that.
How do you know how to operate a daycare? Well, he doesn't. But I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go around and I'm going to take a look at daycare centers near me that aren't being funded by the government and just see how welcoming they are. Because I promise you, I got a bet that those daycare centers operate a hell of a lot different than this. And there's a million different parents. The last time my kid was inside of a daycare center was my daughter, who's now about to turn 17, when she was a wee young child. At one point in time, we put her in a daycare so my ex could go back to work. And guess what? The doors were open and you could go in and they would give you a tour. Now, I understand that that was, over a decade ago and things have changed. However, I don't think it's that difficult. STRC says, Matt, go to Google Earth and look up 1411 Nicollet Avenue. Minute 22. It was a brick wall. No kidding, huh? I believe it. I believe it used to be a brick wall. And I saw videos coming out from over behind this business and stuff, and they're absolutely disgusting. The place is an absolute crap hole. Nothing of good nature actually comes out of it. But this place right here and what's taking place with Nick is now he's just getting harassed. Now he's just getting harassed. And I want you guys to take a look right here, at these people that are accusing Nick of grifting and exactly what they're doing. That's a TikTok live session right down there. So these same people that are over there yelling at him and accusing him of grifting are also broadcasting all of it and doing their own grifting off the same situation. It's a bunch of garbage. Colby McCurdy says, I think you made a joke yesterday saying you had a job interview with Mossad. Oh yeah, that I did. Yes, I did. Also, have you heard anything about the letters of marque proposal? I heard that the letters of marque proposal, that they ended up drafting it and putting it up. I have no idea where in the process it's at. I know it's going to take a while because I think we actually have more pressing issues other than the letters of marque, to be perfectly honest. All right. So ICE agents over inside Minneapolis, and don't forget that they're over there still dealing with these freaking idiots over inside Minneapolis. That's still a problem. All right. So as we focused on the fraud pretty heavy, the last time I was reporting on this, I think I touched on fraud. I know I touched on some of the crap from the colleges and where their money was going, but also some of the fraud of the businesses, but it was going pretty heavy into ICE. And I don't want you guys to forget the ICE is still out there. So the more attention that the nation is drawing on these businesses, the more freaking whack jobs that it's actually bringing out, searching and tracking down these dang ICE agents. That's what's happening. And so here you go. Here's ICE agents watering some hippie flowers so they could get out of the way.
Out of the car. We're just coming in for no reason. For no reason.
I'm dying, yeah.
Are you okay?
No, he's not okay. He's not okay.
What happened?
They put a spray in his eye.
Your dick is even smaller.
Get him. Get him. Get him. So don't forget, they're still out there doing all the good things, taking care of all of it. Now, I can't believe that I have to actually explain this to some of you, but I guess I'm going to. You guys are asking me about the job interview that I joked around and said it was Mossad. Ladies and gentlemen, it wasn't because I had a job interview with Mossad that I was a little bit more dressed up yesterday. It's because I was on InfoWars, for crying out loud. So I had an interview on InfoWars before I went live on YouTube. And you guys, every time you see me dressed up a little bit more, it's because I'm going on like a news channel, media station, things like that. I tend to dress up when I go and I do that. So those of you guys that have been around for a while probably knew that it was a joke. Those of you guys that are just now joining us probably had no idea. And that's okay. That's okay. But if you guys want to watch that interview, it's up over on my X account, which obviously you guys can find right down here. And also, by the way, you can obviously find it over at InfoWars as well. So for the love of God, man, I can't believe that some of you guys are actually thinking that I was interviewing with Mossad. No, that's not what was actually taking place. I was not interviewing with Mossad. Now, let's start talking about autism centers. Autism centers and the $7 million that these 4 locations ended up getting from U.S. taxpayer dollars. That's right. It's no longer just daycare. It's also autism.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Do you have openings here? This is the Autism Center?
Yes.
Do you have openings for new clients?
So I need to check with my manager regarding that. And also, can I know what is your provider?
She needs to check with her manager to see if they have any openings. Now, what legitimate business, what receptionist that is welcoming people in doesn't know whether or not that they actually have room for additional people? This is, again, over inside Minnesota. Freaking unbelievable, man. Absolutely unbelievable. Blows my freaking mind every time. Incog Faraday says, what the hell? You dress down for us? You want me to start dressing up for you guys? I will. I'll do it, man. I'll start dressing up for you guys.
Yeah, it would be for just a young child.
Sorry?
Oh, an opening for a young child?
Oh, opening for a young child?
Yeah. Is that what your Autism Center, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So, can I know the details of the child, please?
Just with the autism diagnosis.
Okay, but before that, I want to take few information regarding the child and the details.
Are you recording? Yeah, we're just getting information about whether or not you have openings.
Oh, what's your name?
My name is Liz.
You can't record though. He's my manager on the line.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You
guys.
Oh, okay. I'm just wondering.
I saw you recording when I was walking behind you. You can come back.
Yeah, we're just wondering if there are openings here.
You can come back in 5 minutes from the manager.
Who has a business card? Here, you can take the business card.
Okay, great. And call your manager?
He's on there. You guys can speak with him.
That's the owner, but the manager's coming back in 5 minutes if you guys want to step on.
Gulad.
What's the manager's name? You can come back and talk to her.
5 minutes. They have to wait for the manager to call. All they asked is whether or not they had openings, and then they wanted to call the manager. Absolutely not acceptable. Absolutely not acceptable. And you guys, do I need to give you guys a free pants check for the love of God? Why do I always get accused of not wearing pants? I know exactly why. It's because of Rob. Frickin' Rob, man. Incog Faraday came in, gifting out an additional 5 Speak the Truth memberships. Thank you, sir. And Fox McLeod says, remember the spikes in autism? Could this be it? Yeah. You know what? Now that you mention it, that could be. Or it could be the U.S. government putting out new stats for the spikes in autism and then stating that we need to open up new autism centers for specializing in daycare, specializing in autism, right? And so they go and people see this money hit, and then they go, you know what we ought to do? We ought to steal from people that have autism. That's more likely what happened. I would bet dollars to donuts that the United States government said, look at all of this autism. We need to do something to help out. Let's go ahead and send more money. And then these businesses ended up popping open and stealing the money from everybody that was supposed to be going into autism. Absolutely freaking nuts. Pants check. You guys always pants checking me. Not only do I have pants on today, I also got fancy shoes on. I have dressed up for you guys, ladies and gentlemen. Dressed up. Don't you dare pants check me. Phantom Shaman says, Matt, we want to see you in a tuxedo, top hat, and tails. Oh man, you guys are going to have to donate a lot more than $5 if you want to see me in a tuxedo, top hat, and freaking tails. I mean, I guess I could figure it out. Maybe I'll go rent one. But yeah, well, I could probably make that happen for you. When do you guys want to see me in a tuxedo, top hat, and tails? You guys let me know, and I'll do my absolute best to make that out for you. Maybe as I go around to these different businesses, I'll dress up as the Monopoly guy and see what I can get out of them. You know what I mean? Absolutely nuts. Let's go. Let's keep going. Autism centers.
Hi there. Do you have openings here? Openings? Yes. Like what? Are you guys at capacity? Do you have openings for new clients or?
I just came back today, so I will ask.
Okay.
I don't know yet.
Okay.
Okay. Is it adult daycare that you're looking for?
That's what this is, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It's 75 and we are full.
Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I'm wondering if you have any openings in your adult day center?
Actually, we are full capacity. We have a small capacity.
How many do you accept at a time?
We only accepted 35.
35 and you're at capacity at this time? Okay, thank you. Hi there. Are you a childcare center? Yeah. Do you have openings or are you guys closed at the moment? I wasn't sure if you're in business or.
So we all been, we're supposed to we open in the morning, but we didn't have enough children until around the morning. So now people they come late, not allowed after the school.
Okay, is this the bus that you use?
So there's this bus, not this one, but there's another van.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how many kids do you have in the afternoon then?
60 to something.
60? Oh, they come right after school?
Yeah.
And then Monday through Friday?
No, 7 days.
Oh, 7 days.
7 days.
7 days. Okay, and 60 or 70 is your...
60 roughly.
Do you have openings for new kids or?
We do.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Yep, there you go, ladies and gentlemen, more of it. And I personally don't know about asking people how many kids that they have there. I'd be a little bit freaking creeped out if I was them. I'd be like, the hell is your problem? Like, freaking creeper? Are you a pedo? Are you a chomo? You trying to stage a mass shooting, white lady? Like, what's going on? But sticking outside of it and trying to see what's going on, I think is a good idea. Just take a look and see how many are coming and going. And if you don't have any coming and going, well, then there's a problem. Or if they come for 2 minutes and then they turn around and go, and the parents that are bringing them in are carrying an envelope in their pocket, might be a sign. Just throwing that out there. C88 says tuxedo and top hat fund. Oh, dear God. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. We'll make sure we get that tuxedo and top hat going for you sometime in the very near future. STRC says, yes, we would. Okay. You guys want to see me in a tuxedo and top hat one day? Oh my God. All right. So it's tuxedo and top hat fund coming at me. I got it. Oh my Lord. Waiting to do another media interview, and I'll just put on a tuxedo and top hat for the media interview. They're going to be like, we can't take you seriously, man. We absolutely can't do it at all. Oh my God. All right. So far we've covered daycare centers. Then we went over autism centers. What do you think is going to be the next one? What do you think? If your guess was assisted living, you would be correct.
As an assisted living facility, and it receives a lot of taxpayer money. Here in Minnesota, the number of people getting help in assisted living facilities is up double the growth of other programs. But here's the kicker. The rate of payment in this assisted living space is 10 to 15 times the growth in other programs. Hi. So we pulled the data on assisted living facilities in the Minneapolis area. Minneapolis, as you might expect, has a lot, 169. St. Paul, with a population of 307,000, has 83. But Brooklyn Center, 30,000 population, has 106. And Brooklyn Park, population of 84,000, has 181, more than Minneapolis, a city 5 times its size. But this assisted living facility puts this all in perspective. It's owned by a man indicted for laundering $1 million in the Feeding Our Future scam. He's Gandhi Mohammed, now Gandhi Abdi Kadai, and his LLC owns the homes. His wife...
Weird. A guy at the head of the Feeding Our Future scam also owns assisted living centers. Do you think maybe there might be more fraud than they're letting on? Just maybe.
Owns the assisted living facilities, and the state is continuing to pay as he awaits his trial.
What?
We went to each of them.
We're curious because the man who owns this building was indicted in the Feeding Our Future scandal. Do you know that?
No.
Don't know that?
No. You think what?
Do you know the Feeding Our Future scandal? The scam that was, there's all these indictments related to false, billing on feeding children.
No, that's not true.
That it's not true?
It's not true. The way I know this, no.
These assisted living facilities received over $2.3 million in state money last year alone. A Minnesota Reformer article says he has been paid a whopping $49 million since 2016.
How is it possible that this person who's been indicted in Feeding Our Future also is still collecting checks from the state, running these assisted living centers with his wife?
I honestly have no idea. It seems like the most basic due diligence would have been to run a check of all the people indicted in Feeding Our Future and then make sure they're not getting paid from other state programs. And at least in this case, and I've heard perhaps in others, they didn't do that.
State Representative Kristen Robbins is the chair of the House Fraud and Oversight Committee here.
So this person owns assisted living facilities, and his wife runs the service provider part of it. So he owns the property. One of the properties was purchased with the same shell company he used to money launder in Feeding Our Future. And now that same shell company has been used to buy a new assisted living facility property. It's unconscionable that they haven't done the most basic due diligence to cross-check that Feeding Our Future defendants aren't getting additional state money.
Now, we reached out to this man.
Oh, no frickin' way. Oh, no way, McSwayze. He says, my apologies. It's been years. This is the guy that told me about the market that I might need to check out. He said the market in Columbus is called the Global Market Now. And he says, get this, they own assisted living facilities according to their Google reviews. Well, the Monopoly man might have to pay him a visit. Just might have to pay him a tiny little visit. And I want to think, oh, come on. Why are you not why are you being this way? Why you got to be that way? I want to thank MAGA80. He says, no Uncle Sam outfit fund donating 11 euros. I greatly appreciate that. And Gobsky Skates coming in, giving out 5 Speak the Truth memberships. Thank you very much, sir. Holy freaking crap, man. You guys are being generous today, and I really do appreciate it. Let's keep it rolling.
And his wife, and we got to hear back. We also reached out to the Department of Human Services here, and they gave us a statement. In part, it basically says, ultimately, they can't cut funding from this guy because he is simply a landlord, essentially because his wife runs the services for these assisted living facilities, essentially kind of passing the buck.
Yeah, Rich, when you think about the potential money that was squandered instead of helping people that need it, it really is so hard to comprehend.
It's not hard to comprehend at all. It's years upon years of this stuff compounding over time, nobody getting caught, and people that would have normally stayed out of it said, you know what, everybody else is getting away with it, why can't I? So they jump in on it. Incog Faraday says, don't know what's worse, this or the USA ID crap. Rotten swamp. Brother, you ain't kidding. USAID is pretty bad. The amount of crap that we found that they were funding around the world, it's a lot. It's a lot. Now, the rumors are, because I can't accuse anybody of this, but what the rumors are is that USAID money actually ends up going into, covering some of the shady things that the United States government ends up doing. So maybe some of those like weird transgender things could have been, USAID money as payoffs and stuff. And they just got the Dems to sign off on it. Whatever. I don't know. No idea. But at the end of the day, USAID is disgusting, and it's got a lot of issues, and the whole thing honestly just needs cut off. It's not really advancing our future. It's not really taking care of U.S. citizens, in my opinion. We're not doing anything good with it. We need to really figure that stuff out. Christopher's coming in, gifting out a Speak the Truth membership. Thank you very much, sir. All right. Now, this is probably one of my favorite ones. You got a guy over inside Washington that's also investigating the different daycare fraud and all of that other stuff. And as he was over there investigating it, they actually called the cops on him. After harassing him, doing everything, they called the cops on him and then accused the guy of having a gun. Started an even bigger problem. Check this crap out. This is Seattle.
We got rain. So as you can see, no one here is answering. It's just past 10 a.m. right now. Hello, looking to get some information about childcare. Okay, so as you can see, I just asked about childcare. Is this childcare for children? It's not? Yeah, I just want to make sure this is Tawakkul House. Yes. Okay, just wanted to make sure. What's the email address?
Notice how all of the residents appear to be foreign, we'll say.
This is Marine Childcare here at 2918. Okay, how come I can't?
Oh, wait a minute. What was that, lady? Was she also foreign? Let's go back and double check. Yep. Well, maybe she's not foreign. Maybe she just likes to wear that crap and religious purposes, not calling out a particular religion in particular here that's been at the forefront of all this.
Okay, how come I can't receive childcare here? Okay, face covering required. I saw this location on the Department of Children, Youth, and Families. I just saw you go in a moment ago, ma'am. Are you unfamiliar with this address right here, 2918, is listed? I don't know. The kid started to answer honestly, and his dad then became a bit panicked and rushed him inside. Hello?
This is ridiculous.
I'm just looking for some information about childcare, daycare. Looking for information about childcare, please. So the person just moved the blinds over there. There's absolutely someone here. This business is open right now, according to the DCYF website. If you've seen the Nick Shirley story on YouTube about Minnesota, where they've got all those facilities over there and they're listed as, operating 24/7, 365. So I came down here as a journalist to see if that's in fact what's going on. This Seattle Housing Authority location is listed as having, within a 3-square block area, as having 20 facilities operating childcare at them. Okay. And so far, only one of them appears to be legit.
Okay. You have a gun on you? Okay. Well, the issue is that now they're saying that you lifted your shirt in a way to demonstrate that you were armed. You didn't. There was no intention.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
well,
that's it.
Don't lie to me. You were there. There was someone back there. You was someone over here. Did you feel fear for your safety? Like what was going on?
No, I didn't feel fear. I didn't feel fearful for my safety. I was just like, hey guys, what are you doing? I was just trying to ask what was going on.
And so to that end, did you ever move your shirt to reveal that you're armed? You can tell that the community is upset at large. And so if we just walk away from this, then obviously that's going to have, well-documented after effects. So,
Okay? I have kids sleeping in my room.
So, yeah.
I'm going to DCYF childcare.
All these people are pissed off because he's going over and digging into them. They report that he's got a gun, that he's flashing a gun. You got to be freaking kidding me. AP Payne in the house gifting out 10 Speak the Truth memberships.
I'm going. There's licenses for these places. I'm going there to see if you guys have applications for service.
Yes.
Do you have it right?
Yes, it's a business. You've seen my journalism, so you guys know I'm not a provocateur or looking for a fight. I think I probably am gonna just head out of this community right now. I mean, I've got 12 out of 20 places, and out of those places, 11 seem incredibly suspicious. One seems legitimate. Okay, wow, that's crazy. This is absolutely. What?
I'm gonna wipe you my come in my house.
No. You want me to come in front of you?
No, just go, sir. Have a good night.
That's not like a threat or something, is it?
No, it's okay.
Okay, all right.
Oh, no, not a threat at all. How dare you walk around knocking on doors of businesses where people live, receiving legitimate taxpayer money, asking them whether or not their child cares? How dare you ask for information? I even saw in the comment section, dude, if this was real, these people would be handing out pamphlets. They'd be giving out information. They'd be doing everything. And what do you say? 11 out of the 12 centers acted this way? You gotta be kidding me.
Whoa. Wow. Intense. Seattle Housing Authority District here in Rainier Valley. Here in southeast Seattle. You know, with as many people showing up as there are, and kind of ugly that was starting to feel, I think I'm gonna probably call it good for today. I mean, that's pretty intense. You've got 2917, 2918, two Aaliyah and Rihan right around the corner. A lot of people getting angry here, and I think we know why.
This is the crazy part, man, when you look at it. Like, this is a neighborhood. This, in my opinion, is worse than what's taking place inside Minnesota. Because at least in Minnesota, they have like brick and mortar buildings and they're like trying to hide it. Washington State, they don't even give a crap. They're just literally registering them as their home address, throwing a Ring doorbell cam, slapping something on the door like it was an Airbnb, and then turning everybody away while collecting money. How much of that do you think is going to paying their freaking rent and everything else? Fox McCloud says, we used to agree on the truth in this country. Now we try to cover up lies and fraud. Nailed it. Now because it's xenophobic to start pointing these people out that are taking advantage of our government and our system. I said it last night. Average American, you're taxed what, like 28%? 28%. So out of every 100 days, you're working a month for free. And then multiply that throughout the freaking year. Dude, you're working over 3 months a year strictly to pay taxes to go to people that are freaking here. Collecting the money, living in their homes, taking advantage of us. They're busting our butts and actually paying our taxes. And these people think that they have a right to do it. They're going to call law enforcement on you. They're going to do everything under the sun. And you think about that. Every 100 days, you're working 1 month for free because of taxes. And it's probably way more than that when you start thinking about your sales tax, how your gas is being taxed. You can't do a dang thing in this world. You can't even wipe your butt without your toilet paper being taxed when you buy it, when you flush your toilet, when you do any of that crap. And all that money, where's it going? Here. And people wonder why we're $38 trillion in debt. I think Americans have a right to be pissed off about this. I really do. And when it's got to the point where people just register their home address, don't even really try to hide crap, and they're just like a neighborhood full of them. And then they're so entitled that when somebody knocks on the door asking for information, they end up calling the cops on them. That's insane to me. That is literally insane that that's taking place. That should not happen at all. But at least those ones look like low-income houses, right? Like maybe not the best houses on the planet, so maybe they're not collecting that much money. If only all of them were that way.
Oh yeah, I was trying to find the local daycares.
We already know about what's going on. This is a licensed property. If you have a complaint, go to the state.
Okay, I was trying to find out if you guys are
Let's look inside that doorway. What do we see? Somebody with another curtain wrapped over their head. Imagine that.
daycare. I was just trying to see.
Well, you don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to. If you want to know any questions, just go online and ask who you need to ask. But
no, there's nobody online to ask, so I'm just trying to ask you guys.
No, you don't have to ask us anything.
I don't have to?
If you have any questions, go
I
to
do.
the state.
I have a question. I was just asking you guys. Okay, you guys were listed on the website and a bunch of websites, so for daycares, so.
Oh, that's what it is. Then you don't need to go door to door.
Yeah, no, you can. Yeah, I have. You can go door to door.
So if you have any questions, go call the child care check and they'll give you whatever information that you need.
Okay, so you guys aren't a daycare then? They're not a public daycare, right? Okay, I didn't think so.
Don't report our property either.
Oh, I can, yeah.
You guys see that place, right? You see that house? You see that building? Look at the size of that sucker, man. That's not like some tiny little frickin' home. That's not like some little low-income housing. Look at that sucker. Look at it. And they're like, oh, it's licensed. You're not allowed to be here. Get out. Like, kiss my butt. Man is on a public sidewalk. Gavsky Skate says, dude, the Nick isn't Batman thing genuinely cracked me up. That was hilarious. Thanks, bro. No, thank you, man. I kind of wish Nick did dress up as Batman, seeing how they're calling him a vigilante. Oh, man. I mean, I have so many more of these that I can just keep going down. I don't even know what rabbit hole I want to go down on. I've ridden pretty hard on Somalis, and I've ridden pretty hard on what appears to be a bunch of Muslims. And so before I get accused of being a racist, which I already am, let's just go ahead and say that it's not just Somalis. It's not just Muslim immigrants that are coming to the United States. It might even be people from a Slavic background. And look, they're white.
Estimated $14 million worth of fraud was committed by these three suspects. Christians Petrovskis, Romuns Tisobrits, Normuns Olavikas.
Now, I will say that it is a bit odd how this suspect over here on the left happens to have that Muslim-looking beard with the mustache shaved. I'm just saying. Just saying.
Arrested for shoplifting and cloning gift cards in Texas.
These people were all here illegally, and they were all here specifically to commit crimes.
The men are foreign nationals from Latvia, a country in Europe. The group told investigators that they typically steal gift cards from 10 stores a day, 7 days a week, and have been actively doing so since May.
They're stealing gift cards off the shelves from various big box stores. These cards have no value when they steal them.
The thieves will then take the items to another location and carefully remove the packaging almost surgically.
The card is removed, and then the material on the back that covers up the numbers to transfer anything or activate the card is then removed so that they can see it. The numbers that are on the card are then programmed into another program that the criminals are using, which will now monitor that card.
From there, the cards are reassembled to appear as new without scratches and placed back onto store shelves for someone to buy.
As soon as it is activated and money placed onto that card, the criminals are now aware of it, but they now have the ability to transfer the money off of that card and onto another card where it is then cashed out or used to buy high-end merchandise.
We're told more than 400 gift cards were in their possession when they got arrested. We know they shoplifted from stores in cities including Austin, Dallas-Fort Worth, Houston, and San Antonio. For anyone who might have one placed under...
Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and stop it there. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. 14 mil, I think, was the number that I heard. 14 million in gift card fraud. Latvians is what they're saying. Illegal immigrants at the end of the day that are over here doing all this crap. It's not just Muslims. And nobody's sitting around accusing particular communities of doing this stuff. And you bet your ass CNN isn't going to go out there and CNN isn't going to try to scream, look at that. You know, the FBI, the Bureau is actually doing their job, and it's not just going after a particular community. They're actually going after white people too. God forbid they bring that up. Right? No, they're going after illegals that are defrauding and abusing our system, that are stealing from American citizens. Can you imagine? Can you freaking imagine getting your kid a gift card, getting somebody a gift card for Christmas, spreading your hard-earned money, and then your kid goes to spend it and the dang card's empty? That's what these animals did. That is appalling. That's almost as bad as stealing from adult daycare centers, almost as bad as stealing from autism, almost as bad as stealing from the daycare center industry, almost as bad as all of that. But it's still freaking horrible. Russian smugs, I bet. Just pointing it out. All I'm doing is just pointing it out. For some reason, you point things out and people get all upset and they get all pissy. Ugh, my Lord, man. Now, I ended up sharing this last night. Yes, this is a very real video. This is not a joke. Somebody asked about this, and yeah, it's real. This is the 26th Deputy Secretary of Health and Human Services. He's acting director for the Center of Disease Control as well. And he has a special message for everybody.
Hello, I'm HHS Deputy Secretary Jim O'Neill.
It's not a troll. This is a real video.
I'm here with Assistant Secretary Alex Adams. Alex oversees the Administration for Children and Families. Intrepid journalists have made shocking and credible allegations of extensive fraud in Minnesota's child care programs. We believe the state of Minnesota has allowed scammers and fake daycares to siphon millions of taxpayer dollars over the past decade.
My office, ACF, provides Minnesota $185 million in child care funds each year. That money should be helping 19,000 American children, including toddlers and infants. Any dollar stolen by fraudsters is stolen from those children. Yesterday, I spoke directly with the director of the Minnesota Child Care Services Office. She could not tell me with confidence whether those allegations of fraud are isolated or whether there's fraud stretching statewide.
Today, we have taken 3 direct actions against the blatant fraud that seems to be rampant in Minnesota. First, I have activated our Defend the Spend system for all ACF child care payments across America. Starting today, we require a justification, receipt, or photo evidence before we make a payment. Second, I've just signed and sent a demand letter to Governor Walz. I required a full 360 review of these centers. This includes attendance records, licenses, complaints, investigations, and inspections.
And third, we've launched a dedicated fraud reporting hotline and email address at childcare.gov. Whether you're a parent, a provider, a member of the public, we want to hear from you. Let me be crystal clear. ACF expects every state to uphold the highest standards of oversight, monitoring, and accountability for federal dollars. Minnesota is no exception.
These are the men overseeing the system. Throwing that out there. You place your faith in it or not. They seem kind of nerdy, but at least they don't have purple hair. And they actually did demand that Tim Walz actually do an investigation, so that's good. And Cog Faraday has called him Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Appreciate your donation, brother. I mean, they absolutely look that way, like Tweedledee and Tweedledum. This is one of the most, I think, shocking things that we are going to end up learning as the years come. And truthfully, this was the type of stuff that we expected to see coming out of Doge. And, you know, most people were focused when Doge was actually up and running. Most people were focused on a lot of the different money and stuff that was going overseas. And I wonder how many people actually thought to look here inside of the United States. Now, the fact that this stuff is going on so unnoticed, and it certainly seems like Tim Walz was aware of it and tried to shut it down and accused his allegedly some of these sources that are coming out of being xenophobic, being racist, being like white supremacist and all this other crap. If he's actually out there demanding that stuff, it kind of makes you wonder whether or not he really believes in his mind or whether or not he was actually getting kickbacks himself. And I think that's something that everybody's going to end up looking into. People ask the question, why is it that Tim Walz ended up getting the VP seat, right? Why did he get that nomination? Where did that come from? And I would almost venture to say that it has to do because of stuff like this that we've been going over. I would almost bet that people knew that he was very deep in fraud, or at least it was alleged, because when you have fraud on somebody, you have leverage, and then you can make that person do whatever the hell it is that you want. And I would speculate, that's my assumption, that's my guess, I'm not stating that as fact, that that's probably what took place. And that's why Walz ended up coming out of nowhere. But the problem is that they put Walz at the freaking forefront, and then people started digging into his crap. And what they discovered was absolutely disgusting. Whew. Somebody asked me about my New Year's resolution. You guys are going to get You guys are going to get another show later on this evening. Don't worry, I'm not running away. You guys are going to get one. No, I'm not bringing in the new year with you. I've got my own stuff that I'm going to take care of. My New Year's resolution, when I look at it, is inspired by something that I heard at church the other day, and that is to look at what my God-given gifts are. Look at those gifts that I have been given in life, and then try to develop them further, and then use those gifts to further glorify God. That is my New Year's resolution. And how that translates into work, how that translates into my daily life, ladies and gentlemen, I am not sure at this moment in time. But what I do know is I'm going to continue to develop those over the next year. And I hope that you guys have like some pretty similar ones as well. And I'd encourage you to do something like that. for the new year. And even if you're not religious, maybe look into something that you could just do better to help somebody else out. Because with all the garbage going on in today's world, I think it's fair. We need more goodness. We need absolutely more goodness in this world. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave you. Peace, love, happiness, and God bless. I'm out of here.
Without much further ado, I give you the Derek Zoolander Center for Kids Who Can't Read Good.
What is this?